things I would contents and one settings. Well, all setting is set. Now, Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa. I am here with you. Accordance with titles, yes, today we are roasting Dia Mirza and here topics about the global warming propagandas and the perceptions of the naval velocity of Cape Verde footballers. And now, here we can see what's going on at the points. Dia Mirza states, as we know that Dia Mirza states some negative moments and Dia Mirza stands against the patriotisms. Now, here we can state that what is the difference between patriarchy and versus feminism in that topic of whom? That is in the topic of here, Mrs. Cape Verde footballers. And now, and this live stream is going on the science and technologies. Here we can discuss velocity, we can discuss kinetic powers, and we can discuss the fuel. And now, here we can see, I think every build-up is okay. Well, and now here, let's take the moments. It is the hard. Here, left side is whom? Left side is Dia Mirza. Okay. Now, first of all, let's check what is what's going on at the who was Dia Mirza. Okay. Now here we can. I think here we can see the sponge. They are Mirza as an actors. Okay. Now it is the Dia Mirza as an Bollywood actress, and now she is an social environment workers. And now let's check it. What is our points? Okay. Now here we can see these moments. What is her statements? Patriarchy is the cause of climate changing. Here it is the man who drive the climates, and here we can change, and it is the man who is the responsible of chaos of being unleashed the global warmings. Okay. Now here we can see words. Here we can notify it. Well, now, well, and now let's coming to the points about words. And here I think here I required some times as well. And here we can see these moments. Here I require some times, and here we can see it is almost 51 to yes. Now this Hindu trying to be Jews so bad. Oh, this writers. Okay. Now, in these points, here we could notify. Well, diameter states that humans are disconnected with nature just because of man's. Men are cutting 100,000 trees, and here, in that cases, but what about the 14 minutes 51 seconds? She states that here patriarchy is the cause of global warming. They can bring climate disaster like cyclone, flood, famines, etc. Okay. Now, when here is my point. When Diami just state anything against patriarchy in the topic of the climate change, now here I am here to mention that sometimes why global warming in the hand of patriarchy is necessary. Here I would mention in the points. Well, first of all, here we can see here is some beautiful moments. Well, and now, okay, let's talk about the moments. Here is an Cape Verde footballers. In today's match, we can discuss about the football match between Cape Verde and Saudi Arabians, and we can discuss Saudi footballers velocity. Okay, first of all, here we can see. Well, when the topic about Cape Verde footballers, departure is Cape Verde. It is the departure. Now, where is Cape Verde? Cape Verde is near to Mauritania, Morocco, etc. And where is Houston? Houston is the city of the Texas provincial state of United States of America. Now, in these cases, well, what is the travel times? Well, when the departure is Cape Verde, well, Naval first stop is Gibraltar near to Spain. Then their second stop is near to Algeria. Then their third stop is near to Israel, and then their stop is Suez Canal. And now let's take it the moments here. I think I am here to discuss about it. Well, then their stop is here Strait of Aden. I mean Gulf of Aden. And then their stop is about the Arabian Sea, like near to Pakistan and near to India. Then their stop is here Indian Oceans, near to the sea beach of both of Maldives and Sri Lanka. Then their stop is near to Indian Oceans, near to sea beach of Eastern Malaysia and Eastern Indonesia. Then their stop is here near to Eastern, Western Malaysia and Western Indonesia. Then their stop is near to here Eastern Australia and Southern Australia. And then repeatedly crossing the Indian Oceans, their stop is near to Madagascar and the sea beach of South Africa. Then crossing their southern Atlantic Oceans, their stop is near to Argentina, Brazil and Venezuela. Well, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Mexico, Eastern Mexico and Gulf of America to reach where? Houston, where Houston is this city of Texas provincial state of United States of America. Okay, and now in these cases, now here we can see this points. What is the naval distance? Here naval distance is 33,400 ones as a naval distance. Now what is the naval distance at the meanings? Where naval distance is 33,400 ones. That is here almost 61,858 kilometers, 652 meters. As a round figure, it is, we can see here that is the necessary to be points to be noted out. Well, here requirement is here almost 62,000 kilometers per second. Okay. Now here we can see these points. Well, and in this cases in Texas today is afternoon 12 o'clock. I apologize. Today is midtime. What is the one? Here, yes. Today is evening 6 o'clock. In where? In Houston, the city of Texas provincial state of United States of America. According with the Texas time zones, now let's check the points. What is your departure times and arrival times when velocity is 62,000 km per second? Now it is the clear the points. Now according with diameter, here's when the ERG with the velocity to be 62,000 km per second, the ERG is causing the global warming. Okay. Now here we can mention that what is the feminism and what is misogyny. In fact, here we can mention that what is the patriarchy and what is the feminism. Okay. In the cases, the definitions of feminism is here support the particular gender who can drive the ERG with the velocity to be 25 km per hour. And in this cases, 25 km per hour as the velocity of ERG is considered as an women ERGs. I mean, it is the women velocity. Now, what is the patriarchy? The patriarchy is support only to support the particular genders who can travel 62,000 kilometers in 1 second in these cases. And here we can see patriarchy supports and Cape Verde footballers yachts that can travel here 62,000 km per second. And now let's check at the moments. Well, according with the today's schedules, now let's check it. Well, let's come into the points. Well, here we could see this Cape Verde versus Saudi Arabian football match has been started. Okay. Now here we can see these the points. The Cape Verde versus Saudi Arabia football match has been started in these cases. And now, well, now here we can see these points. What is the meaning of that? In that case, Cape Verde footballer has to arrive here on Houston at morning 5 o'clock 30 minutes past. I mean morning half and 5 o'clock. Okay? That is the points. Accordance with Bangladesh and accordance with Houston time zone, Cape Verde footballer have to arrive at the evening uh, half and 5 o'clock. And now let's check at the moments and what is going on at some times. In that cases, they have to depart at morning 5 o'clock, 1 minute past. And what is the today's points? Here we can see June 27, 2026, morning in 5 o'clock. I mean here evening 5 o'clock, June 26, 2026. And in this the points, arrival time would be evening 5 o'clock, 1 minute, 1 second past, June 26, 2026 as an arrival time. That is the significantly necessary. And in these cases, here we can check the points. In the velocity of Cape Verde footballers' yachts should be minimum 62,000 km per second. That is the definition of patriarchy. On the other hand, what is the definition of feminism? Okay, now here we can see this point. Definition of feminism is clear. That is here the velocity would be 25 km per hour. Now, what is the meaning of 25 km per hour? When here naval distance is 62,000 kilometers, and here we can see 62,000 kilometers divided by 25. Now it is the moments that is almost 2480 hours. Okay. Now what is 2480 hours? That is almost 206 days or something hours at the moment. Well, now let's check the points. And here we can see what is 206 days. Now in this cases, when 206 days start from June 26, that means here 232 days start from June 1. Okay. Now here you can see this the points. The June 1 can contains June month contains 30 days. July month contains almost 6 days. And July month contains 31 days, and August month contains 31 days. From June to August, we can calculate as a 92 days. Now, September, October contains here 61 days. What is 92 sum by 61? That is 153. Okay. Now let's check the points. What is 206 subtract by 153? That is almost 53. And now let's check at the moments. What is 53 subtract by 30? That is here 23. And in this moment at the points, now here we could see if arrival time would be evening 6 o'clock, June 26th. Okay. Now here departure time would be morning. When departure time would be evening 6 o'clock, June 26, 2026, as a departure times. Arrival time would be December 23, 2026, almost afternoon 2 o'clock. And now, in these cases, football match has been started on evening 6 o'clock, June 26, 2026. Hence, that means their departure time is evening 5 o'clock. Here we can see arrival times of Cape Verde footballers is evening 5 o'clock, June 26, 2026 as an arrival times. And now, let's take the back kingdom moments. Here we can see those points. June contains. Here June is calculated 26. Here 206 subtracted by 26 is 180. Okay. Now let's take the points. March, April, May contains here almost 92 days. And what is 180 subtracted by 92 days? That means 88. Okay. In that cases, and here we can say February and January contains almost 59 days. Now what is 88 subtracted by 59? That means 89 subtracted by 60. That is 29. Now here back to here December 2025 and 29 subtracted by 31 is negative 2. That means the departure date of Cape Verde footballer would be December 2, 2025 and arrival date would be June 26, 2026. That is the calculations accordance with diameter as a natural calculations. Okay. Now what is here evening 5 o'clock subtracted by 8 hours? That means here afternoon 12 o'clock subtracted by 3 hours. That means here when departure time it would be December 2, 2025 at the morning 5 o'clock. Okay, here December 2, 2025 as a morning 9 o'clock as a departure times. Arrival time would be evening 5 o'clock, June 26, 2026. And now that is the calculations of diameter as she calculated that here ERG should be 25 km per hour. And here, now here is the moments. What is the definitions of feminism? Here definition of feminism is support Cape Verde footballers ship when they can arrive on morning evening 5 o'clock June 26, 2026 when departure time would be morning 9 o'clock December 2, 2025. And now on the other hand, what is the definitions of patriarchy? In that cases, definition of patriarchy is departure time would be morning 5 o'clock 1 minute past June 26, 2026 and your arrival time would be morning 5 o'clock 1 minute 1 second past June 26, 2026. Well, departure date and arrival date is same and difference is almost 1 second when the naval distance is 62,000 kilometers. And now that is the definition of patriarchy. Well, now here we can see the irony is that here irony is some significant moments. In that cases, irony is that diameter states here patriarchy is a cause of the global warming. But diameter did not state here global warming is sometimes beneficial for Cape Verde footballer to reach here Houston Stadium, the city of Texas provincial state of United States of America, with a naval distance to be here 62,000 kilometers, in the naval timing to be 1 second. Here diameter did not state it. Why? Because here we can see 62,000 kilometers per second is a patriarchal velocity, and that is the problematic of for diameter. Okay. Now here we can see these points. Let's compare the patriarchal velocity, patriarchal Cape Verde footballer ship versus feminist Cape Verde footballer ships. And here we can see these points. Well, it would be discussions about the moments. Now, let's check it. What's going on? Now, in this cases, when the topics about Cape Verde footballers, now, well, the suggestions of diameters here, Yachi's velocity would be 25 km per hour. On the other hand, violations of diameters, what is the patriarchy? Patriarchy states that Cape Verde footballer ship velocity would be 62,000 km per second. Where is 25 km per hour and where is 62,000 km per second? And now, in these cases, well, naval distance is 62,000 kilometers, and here arrival time would be here more evening 5 o'clock 1 minute past June 26, 2026. Here accordance with diameter, departure time would be well morning 9 o'clock 1 minute past June December 2, 2025, where patriarchy states here departure time would be morning 5 o'clock 59 seconds past June 26, 2026. And now, where is departure time as a morning evening 5 o'clock June, here I will take a rest. Now here is the comparison, where is departure time as evening 5 o'clock 59 seconds past June 26, 2026, and where is here morning 9 o'clock 1 minute past here December 2, 2025 as the departure times. Here is the significant difference at the moment. In that case, patriarchy always won. And now, secondly, here it is a common sense when departure time Yachi's velocity would be 25 km per hour and departure times would be here morning 9 o'clock 1 minute past here June December 2, 2025. In that cases here it is impossible for Cape Verde footballer to contest a football match against both of Spain and Uruguay. But now here we can see Cape Verde footballer can contest a match against both of Spain and Uruguay. In these cases here in these points here Cape Verde footballers Yachi's velocity is 62,000 km per second is the logical points. And now, accordance with diameter, it is the global warming issues. And here, accordance with diameters, patriarchy is the cause of the global warming. And now, But in reality, well, here footballers' punctuality is necessary, and here what is the purpose of science and technology existence? Here, science and technology existence here to fulfill the travel punctuality. Well, and here travel punctuality cannot be valid. That is the purpose of science and technologies. In these cases, here 62,000 kilometer per second is logical and 25 kilometer per hour is illogical. But what's going on about the Diamija? Okay, in that cases, well, now let's check it the moments. Well, now in this case, here we could see, well, in this cases the moments, Dia Mirza states that what patriarchy is the cause of what? Patriarchy is the cause of global warming or climate change, and she states that here peoples are disconnected from natures. Where what is the natures? That is 25 km per hour, and what is scientific? That is here 62,000 km per second. She did not state, and that is the problematic issues as we could notify. Okay, and now let's check the moments. Well, and now let's check it. We could see. Well, now let's come into the points. Now here we have mentioned the velocities, we have mentioned the travel times, and now let's mention the kinetic energies. Okay, now let's check at the moments. What is 62 divided by 300? Well, that is almost 0.2067. Okay. Well, now now here we can see. Now here is something like a first rule. The first rule is when we calculating the kinetic force, when the velocity would be upper than 30,000 km per second. Here Albert Einsteinian kinetic power is applicable. And here, now in this cases, when velocity is 62,000 km per second, that means the following velocity is 21.67% velocity of light. Okay? And now, let's check at the moments. What is the value of lambda subtract by 1? And here we can see these moments. Well, now 1 divided by, here square root of bracket of 1 subtract by, here v square divided by c square, where v divided by c is 0.2167. Okay, now here we can see these points, and now let's check it, what's going on. Well, the value of lambda is 1.02434. Okay. Now let's say what is the value of lambda subtract by 1? Here lambda subtract by 1 is 0.02434. Okay. Now let's assume that 0.02435. Okay. And now And in these cases, there is the significant journeys. Well, I think there are some things at the points somehow. Well, I can remove it at the moment. Comment is good. I do not execute. Well, now let's check it. Now, what is the weight of Cape Verde footballers' ships? That is 12 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 kilograms. On the other hand, here we can see this point. What is Cape Verde footballers' statistic energies? I mean, Cape Verde footballers' Yachi's statistic energy, that is almost 12 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 6, because here velocity of light is 3 multiplied by 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And now in this cases, here we can see the significant moments is very good. Well, what is 12 multiplied by 9? That is 108. And what is 6 sum by 60? That is 20. Hence, the statistic energy is 180 multiplied by 10 to the power 20 joules. I apologize, 108 multiplied by 10 to the power 20 joules. Okay. And now, here we can see these moments. Well, now let's check at the points. What is the kinetic energy? Calculations. It is clear. 0.02435 multiplied by 108 multiplied by 10 to the power 20 as in calculations of kinetic energy. And now here we can see when the travel time is 1 second, so here kinetic energy is kinetic powers. Well, now here we can see this points 0.24 now here can 0.02435 multiplied by 108. Now multiplied by what is this? 10 to the powers words 10 to the power 20. And now let's check it the points. What's going on? That is here. Okay. That is almost 262.98 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 joules. Okay. Here joule is equal to watts. What is the point? Because travel time is 1 second. Here, well, we cannot measure the travel time square because the kinetic energy is calculated as a method of Albert Einstein kinetic energy. Hence, now 262.98 trillion megawatts. And here we can see this moments. And now it is the set of the points. Okay. And now let's check it. What is the kinetic energy of Cape Verde footballers when here velocity would be 25 km per hour. Okay. Now here you can see the points. What is 25 km per hour? That is 7 meter per second. Now, well, what is the half of weight of Israel? I mean, Cape Verde footballer Yachi's half of weight, that is 6 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 kilograms. And now, what is 6 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 10 to the power 4? Guys, what is the calculations? 7 square multiplied by 6 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. What is 7 square? That is 49. What is 49 multiplied by 6? That is 294. That means here kinetic energy is here 294 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 joules. But here we can see, kinetic energies is not a kinetic powers. Because here we can see travel time is 2480 hours. Not at 1 seconds. And now here we can see that is the questions of the moments. Well, here we can. What is 248? I mean 248 multiplied by 36,000, and now that is almost 8,928,000 seconds. Okay, now here we can see the what is the kinetic powers. Kinetic energy divided by travel times. And now let's check it. 294 4 times 0 divided by 8928 3 times 0. Okay, now let's check it. What is going on? Here kinetic power is 0.33 watts. Okay, and here we can see this momentums at the points. Well, now here we can. I have to wait for 1 minute. Well, is there anything moments? Well, in that cases, here accordance with the match. Well, according with the match of the 33 minutes, I mean 53 minutes. Here is no goals, both from Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. Okay. Well. It is 8 to 53. I don't know why. Well, and now here we can see the frigates at the moment. Well, and now let's get the points. That is and significant momentums. What about the? Let's compare it. Well, what is the definition of feminism? Definition of feminism is to support an yachty to carry Cape Verde footballer that can contain the kinetic power to be 0.33 watts when the naval distance is 62,000 kilometers. On the other hand, what is the definition of patriarchy? Here, definition of patriarchy is to support the particular ERG to carry here Cape Verde footballer with the kinetic power to be 262.98 trillion megawatts when the naval distance is 62,000 kilometers. Now, where is 62? Now, here when the naval distance is 62,000 kilometers, where is 262.98 trillion megawatts, and where is 0.333 watts? Now, in these cases, now when Yachi to carry a Cape Verde footballer can contain the kinetic power to be 262.98 trillion megawatt, and now if somehow how that can contains the issues of global warming, then here it is the significant times to state that here global warming is good for our health, because in these cases it contains the high velocity of the vehicles, and now global warming is good for our developments and the travel timing, guys, traveling from one place to another place when the global warming is good. That is the reason that why Dia Mirza states that patriarchy is the cause for climate change. But now, well, she does not state that here patriarchy is the reason here we can contest and Yachi to carry the Cape Verde footballers with the velocity to be here 62,000 km per second, where naval distance is 62,000 kilometers. And now, in this cases, she does not mention it. Okay. And here we can see that is the moments. Now, here we have mentions at the about here kinetic powers to support patriarchy against the climate change and the points. Now let's take the points. What is the fuels system? In that case here, what is patriarchal fuel? That is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Where what is the feminist fuel? That is cargo ship oil. Okay. Now here we can see the points when. Now let's calculate the patriarchal Yachi kinetic powers to calculate here feminist fuel and the patriarchal fuels. Now let's check it. And here we can see that is the moments. Well, first of all, we can check here what is the Cape Verde score. Well, Cape Verde score is still 0. Saudi Arabia score is 0. And now, in these cases, short of targets in the points Cape Verde contests, short of targets and Cape Verde contests, corner kicks. Okay. Now let's check at the moments what's going on. And now we can see that is the points. Well, first of all, let's check at 262.98. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, multiple by 10 to the power 18 joules. Well, divided by what? Well, divided by here 15,408 as an specific heat of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius multiplied by the following temperatures. Bracket close. And now let's check it. Now what's going on? That is almost 2.56 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 653 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactors with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Now the same kinetic powers can contain the calculation of the feminist fuel, where feminist fuel would be what? In this case, feminist fuel would be cargo ship walls. Okay, 262.98 multiplied by 10 to the power 18. Well, and now is it clear? Yes, that can divided by bracket of 2000 uh, as a joule per kilogram per Kelvin as an specific heat of cargo ship wall multiplied by um, temperature difference as in 50 degrees Celsius multiplied by 1.01 kilogram per liters as in density of cargo ship oils. Now let's check the moments. Well, that is almost 2.61 quadrillions liters of cargo ship oils. Now here we can see this moments, and now let's check it. What is the calculations of diameter? According with the calculations of diameters, here the kinetic, well, the velocity of Cape Verde footballers, okay, yes, is containing the velocity to be, well, 60 to 2000 kilometer per second. Well, that can concerns about, okay. Now you can see this, that can contains here the cargo ship walls measurements to be 2.61 quadrillion liters, and that can cost here 2.61 quadrillions United States dollars. It is the calculations accordance with Dia Mirza. But now let's check it what's going on the moments. In that case, here Dia Mirza's one of the topics about what about the feminism? Well, now let's check here feminist kinetic power is 0.3 watts. Then because here kinetic energy is 294 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 joules. And now let's check it. Water, now here we can see water 294 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 divided by bracket of 101 multiplied by 10 cube. Now let's check it. That is here his calculation is like 30 liters of cargo ship oils. And now that is the significant threatened cases. Okay. Now here we can see, well, the kinetic energies like 2.62 quadrillion liters of cargo ship oils is patriarchal, and 30 liters of cargo ship oil is feminist. And now, but diameter did not stay here 30 liters per, 30 liters of cargo ship oil is feminist. Yes, is just to carry Cape Verde footballer just because here velocity is 25 km per hour, where here travel time is 2480 hours. That when the naval distance is 62,000 kilometers. On the other hand, when the naval distance is 62,000 kilometers, well, 2.61 quadrillion liters of cargo ship oil of the yachts to carry Cape Verde footballers can contain velocity to be 62,000 kilometers per second. Here, Dia did not mention that. And now we can see those points. Dia support ecofeminism because ecofeminism is here yachts to carry Cape Verde footballers contains the naval timing to be 2480 hours, with here naval distance would to be 62,000 kilometers. And now, in these cases, Diamija's nature-loving feminism is actually the violations of the tra- travel punctuality, and that is the significant disagreements between me and Dia Mirza. Okay, and now in that cases at the moment, now here we can see, well, I think I have mentioned about the Cape Verde footballers points in these cases, but I have forgotten here to mention the trouble of the Saudi footballers. And here they can say, well, we could notify at the moment. Okay, now here we can see this momentums at the points. In that cases, I think here under clears. Okay. Now here we can see. Now let's continue the refreshment. Just we could condense the 30 minutes. Okay. Now here let's targets and points. Departure places Jeddah of the Saudi Arabia, and the arrival places would be what's Houston, the city of Texas provincial state of United States of America. Okay. Now here we can say that is the momentums. Well, and here now let's check it. What is going on? And here now let's check at the points. What is the first stop? Here first stop would be of Saudi Arabians would be Suez canals of Egypt. Okay. Now here second stop of Saudi footballer Yachi would be Tel Aviv, the capital city of Israel. Okay. Now let's check it. Third stop would be the sea beach near to Tunisia. Okay. Now fourth stop would be here sea beach near to Strait of Gibraltar. Well, near to here Spain and Morocco. Okay. Now let's check out the months. Now the fourth stop is here. Next stop is near to southern Portugal. Next stop is here near to northern Portugal. Okay. Now next stop is well near to Plymouth, the city of England. Okay. Now let's take at the points. Well, let's calculate the momentums at the more. Next stop is here near to here Cape Verde. Oh my God, Cape Verde. Well, next stop is near to where? Liberia. Okay. Next stop is here near to Nigeria. Okay. Now next stop is near to where? Well, western southern sea beach of South Africa. Okay, now here we can see. Next stop is near to where? Well, Argentina. Well, Buenos Aires, the city of Argentina. Okay. Now next stop is here near to what? Next stop is near to every sea beach of Brazil. Okay. Next stop is near to a French Guiana. Now let's check at the moments. Next stop is here near to Venezuela. Well, next stop is here near to the Guatemala. Next stop is here near to every eastern sea beach of Mexico in Gulf of Mexico. Then they can enter Gulf of America to enter Houston. Well, the city of the Texas provincial state of United States of America. Okay. Now let's check the moments. What is here 22,900? It is when the what is the naval times? I mean, what is the naval distance? That is 22,000. I mean 22,934.4 nautical miles. And now let's check at the moments. And here we can see that is the points 22,934.4 nautical miles. That is almost here 42,474 kilometers, 508 meters, 800 millimeters. When here we can see that is almost naval distance to be 43,000 kilometers. And now in this cases, well, now here we can see the moments. Here I can state at the sometimes. Well, here we could notify. Here I am feeling some uncomfortable momentums. Okay. Now, what is the meanings of 25 km per hour when the naval distance is here 43,000 kilometers? That now here we can see the moments. That is almost naval timing would be 1720 hours. Okay. And now here is my questions at the moments. What is your 1720 hours when the driving period is 12 hours per day? And here we can see that is almost 143 days 4 hours. Now in these cases, in the points, now here we can see that is our perceptions at the moment. What is 143 days? When the arrival time is here evening 5 o'clock, June 26, 2026. And now here we can see these points. What is the meaning of naval timing to be 143 days 4 hours? Okay. Now here we can see March, April, May contents about here what we can see these moments. 143 to here June 26 is here 123 in almost June. I forget 120 days is would be in June 3 at the moment. And here we can see the spots. It would be the somethings at the moments. Now 117 would be the arrival date would to be June 26. Now let's check the points. What here we can see April, May, March, April, May contains here 92 days. Now what is 11 subtract by 9, that is here 2, and what is 7 subtract by 2, that is 5. And here we can see what we can see, that is here 25. Well, what is 28 subtract by 25, that is 3. Well, and here we can on the other hand, what is 5 subtract by 4, that is 1. That means here we could notify that the significant journeys at the moment. Well, now here we can see when departure time would be morning. Well, departure time would be afternoon 1 o'clock. Here February 3, 2026. Then arrival date can be here evening 5 o'clock, June 26, 2026. Well, that is the calculations of Dia Mirza's natural velocity of ships. When what is the Dia Mirza's always support the natures, and Dia Mirza always support the environmental feminism, and she states that patriarchy is the culprit of the global warming. And now here is my question, that why she stated that patriarchy is the culprit of the global warmings. Now let's check at the moments what is the realities of the points, the reasons. Okay, the now reality of the reasons is the samples. Now reality of the reasons is samples when naval distance is 22,934.4 nautical miles. Well, here so patriarchy means here the system of the Saudi footballers yachts that can contains the velocity to be 43,000 km per second. Hence, when the departure time would be morning 5 o'clock 59 seconds past June 26, 2026. Here arrival time would be morning 5 o'clock 1 minute past June 26, 2026. And now here we can see the sponge. What is the base? Here we can see departure place is Jeddah and arrival place is here Houston, the city of Texas provincial state of United States of America. Okay, and now here we can see that is the momentums at the points. Now we can see the points. Well, when Dia Mirza states that patriarchy is the cause of the climate change, that means here global warming is necessary for whom? Global warming is necessary for our developments or the journeys between Jeddah, the city of Saudi Arabia, to the housed on the city of Texas provincial state of United States of America. And now, in these cases at the moments, here we can you can say that moment points. Dia Mirza is the significant negative girl, and she is just a disgusting momentum at the points. Well, now if now here is the momentum at we can see these moments. Well, for the match between Cape Verde versus Saudi Arabia as a scheduled date as morning 6 o'clock, June 26, 2026. Now here is the points, the what's going on. Now we can see at sometimes at journey's moments. Well, now what is the going on about the Cape Verde versus Saudi Arabian points? Here, naval departure time would be here more afternoon 1 o'clock, February 3, 2026 as a departure time for Saudi Arabia football team when the naval distance is 43,000 kilometers. Because as a policies of diameters, here velocity should be 25 kilometer per second. That is the opposite of the real world. And now here we can see it is the significant momentums at some points. Now we can say that is the dangerous moments. Okay. Now here let's time contrast the journeys. What is 1760 hours? That is almost here we can see this moments 6,336,000 seconds. Okay. Now in these cases, now what is here the kinetic powers of Saudi footballers' years when the travel time is 1760 hours and naval distance is 43,000 kilometers. Now here we can see, well, just I have to wait some times. 6 level 3 6, and now if you can see this the moments kinetic power is 0.47 watts as a policies of whom as a policies of here diameter. But what is the patriarchal policies that can be stated by diameter is that patriarchy is the cause of the global warming. Now in these cases, now here is the journeys at the points. Well, what is 43 divided by 300? Okay, now here we can say that is 0.1434. It is 0.1434. And now let's check is what is lambda subtract by 1 as a calculations. Okay. Now let's get the points. 0.1434, and now everything is in the sands, and here sand is more beautiful than diameter's feminism. Okay. Now let's check it. Well, here value of lambda is 1.01045. Okay. Now let's check what is the value of lambda subtract by 1s. That is here we can see that is here 0.01045. Okay. Now what is the kinetic energies of the Yachis to carry Saudi footballers with the velocity to be 43,000 kilometers? In that cases 4 5 and now multiple by 10 to the power 20. And now let's check it the moments. Well, it is almost 112.86 trillion megawatts. That means here almost, because in this point, travel time is 1 second, kinetic power is kinetic energy. And hence the kinetic power is 112.86 trillion megawatts. And now let's check at the moments. What's going on? 112.86 multiplied by 10 to the power 18. And what is going on? That can here I am calculating as a weight of fuel, where weight would be patriarchal weight as an artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degree Celsius. And now let's check it. Here we can notify that is almost 1.1 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 653 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius as an patriarchal fuel calculations. Now what is the diameters calculations at the moment? Now in these cases at the journeys, well, 112.86 multiplied by 10 to the power 18, and here that can divided by bracket of 2000 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 1.01. Okay, now here we can see that is almost 1.2 quadrillions liters of cargo ship walls as in the calculations of diameter. Now let's check at the moments. Now let's check it what's going on. In that cases, well, diameter when velocity would be 25 km per second, when the velocity would be 25 km per hours, then what is the kinetic power? What is here fuel volume, where fuel is feminist fuel to be cargo ship walls, that is almost 30 liters of petrol cargo ship walls. Now in that cases, now let's check is what is the hypocrisy of diameter. Well, according with the hypocrisy of diameter is 1.2 quadrillion liters of cargo ship wall is caused the climate change because of the patriarchal velocity of Saudi footballer yachts. Okay, fine. And here we can see this 1.1 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 653 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperatures of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius is the cause of the climate change as a fuel of Saudi footballer yachts with the velocity to be 43,000 km per second. But here 30.3 kilograms of cargo ship wall is not the cause of climate change accordance with the statement of whom Diamija. And now it is here the following hypocrisy of the Diamijas as you can see. Okay, now let's check the points. Now let's check the realities. When the reality is beautiful at the moment, well, now we contest the last kick of free kicks. Last free kick of whom? Here, Cape Verde. Still here in H2, there is almost 90 minutes and extra 2 minutes is over, but there is no goals between Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde. And now, in the sketches at the moment, that is at the significant points to be noticed. Now here is an Houston stadiums of the Houston, the city of Texas, provincial state of United States of America, at the significant terms. Well, and here we can see this. Now, here is the points. What is the realities that can violate their major environment policies? Well, now we can see the points on. Well, in that cases, 62,000 kilometers as a travel naval distance. Here it is the beautiful points that both of Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia can practice in their own countries. Cape Verde footballers can practice in Cape Verde and Saudi Arabian footballer can practice in Saudi Arabia. But what if both of them would follow the travel policies of the Diamijas? In these cases, both of Saudi footballers and Cape Verde footballers would travel the naval would practice their football practice match would be in Houston, the city of Texas, provincial state of United States of America, and that is the uncomfortables both of for Cape Verde footballers and here Saudi footballers. Okay, now here we can see. Now it is the my last points about the moments about here football related points when I have discussed the science and technologies as an journeys both of footballers to violate here whom their major environmental policies. And now, well, I would guarantee you that here tomorrow's live stream would be as insignificant because tomorrow's live stream would be about the waters, the journeys of the football referees can violate their major statements. And that is the significant necessity at the moment. Now, see you then. Khuda Hafiz. Love you.